Welcome to Biz Wire. I'm Neil Jones in Beijing. Some analysts say China's overall growth has been impressive, and that goes for its space program as well. However, John Hickman's assertion in a recent foreign policy article that China is catching up and may surpass the United States to become the world's preeminent spacefaring power seems to us a bit far-fetched. Hickman may be right about Chinese determination and the unquantifiable factor of an extraordinary sense of historical grievance being a major driver of Chinese space dreams. China attributes its military technological backwardness to its past national humiliation at the hands of other major powers. Indeed, this is an important part of the national psyche and helps drive the Chinese space programs. The problem lies in the tools needed to turn determination into reality. The most important, China has nothing near the commercial space sector that the U.S. boasts of. NASA now gets less than 1% of the U.S. federal budget, but much of America's true capabilities are embedded in its private sector, which plays a much larger role than its counterpart does in China's space sector. That gives the U.S. a major advantage in space technology innovation. Add to that the contributions of the high-tech and defense sectors means U.S. dominance is not going to disappear anytime soon. China is taking steps to beef up its own commercial space sector, but it still lacks the massive private sector investment in R&D vital to sustaining the success of any space program. If ambition is a factor for the possibility of Chinese dominance in space, then surely one must consider the U.S. aspiration to explore the far reaches of space. Even if China is quickly catching up with the U.S. dominance in low Earth orbit, its program is largely restricted to that realm. The U.S. has already set its sights beyond our planet's periphery. While American satellites are exploring the far reaches of our solar system, with the Voyager 1 having reached interstellar space, closer to Earth, satellites belonging to the U.S. and its partners outmatch Chinese satellites in number and scope. The former owns more than half of all satellites currently orbiting our planet. In terms of their capabilities, American satellites are still far superior to their Chinese counterparts. Concerns regarding the decommissioning of U.S. space shuttle program may also be unfounded. NASA has already tapped the commercial sector to fill the gap in its human spaceflight capability. In the final phase of the Commercial Crew Integrated Capability Program, NASA signed an agreement with the Sierra Nevada Corporation, Space Exploration Technologies, and the Boeing Company to develop commercial spaceships to launch American astronauts in orbit by 2015. This is not a sign of weakness. It shows U.S. national interests are closely aligned with the interests of the country's commercial space sector. In contrast, China's commercial space sector is still very nascent. In fact, China's space sector is comparable to the Russian model: state sponsorship and commensurate state interference. Even though Russia continues to be one of the foremost space powers, it has experienced a substantial decline because of financial constraints and manpower concerns. For China, the People's Liberation Army's stakes in aerospace companies are likely to encourage protectionist tendencies. That in turn would stunt other innovative thinkers. An underdeveloped private industry would limit the potential for innovation. China's impressive ascent in space capability has been driven by massive state financing. While this has undeniably worked well to date, sustaining this model as the Chinese economy rebalances is questionable. And finally, another factor that must not be overlooked is experience. American astronauts have logged thousands of hours of spaceflight. That gives the experience dealing with issues China is just beginning to encounter. Yet despite these limitations, China's space program could continue to impress over time. Maintaining the growth will, however, require reform. More opportunities and incentives for private sector participation will encourage innovation while reducing the burden on the public purse. While a political mandate has been issued for innovative thinking, Beijing needs to make institutional and structural changes that will allow that to happen. Those changes may also help protect the Chinese space program from economic factors. In fact, China has shown it understands the importance of commercializing its space efforts. Fortunately, it does enjoy some tremendous commercial opportunities. China will need to become a force in shaping space policy. Beijing's 2007 anti-satellite test and the resulting space debris was an example of what not to do. You're watching Biz Wire on Blue Ocean Network. All of our stories can be seen on our website, BON.TV/biz-wire. In just a second, we'll continue with more insight into the big picture of China's economy.